Hello, everyone. Hi. Oh, um, yes, we're at the right time. So it's telling you 60 minutes to start.
Oh wow.
Huh.
Now live on your channel. Okay. Well,
Oh, we're
if
here.
miss the exact time, I tried to do it according to the Eastern time.
Yeah.
So um, yeah. So we'll see what we can get done. I apologize if there's anybody that's going to be missing this, but we are going. Thank you, Peggy. I'm glad to know that we're on. Um, so if you are going to be watching this as a recording, this is going to be good for several days. We just had it perfect this afternoon as far as the full moon energy, and this energy will last for a couple days. So I apologize if there was a miscommunication with the time. So that could have been just the fact that I'm central and I put I put the time in. But what we will do is we'll go ahead and get started. And I want to thank everybody for showing up and welcoming you in. We do have both Jen and Sari here, and they are members of the Spiritual View. There's 7 of us total. And we are all Soulful Revolution certified tarot readers. That's how we all actually met and got to know each other. And one of the things that we've discovered is that we have many other talents that that we are wanting to learn and share with each other and share with you. So part of what we're doing is bringing our channel to people so that they can have an understanding of and watch not only just tarot, but how it relates to other things in the world. And we do have people who do numerology and astrology and the Akashic records, and we want you to feel that you're learning with us as we go forward. And if you have questions, we're going to be encouraging you to ask us as things go forward and with what's happening in the world. So, oh, hi, everybody. It would be great if you want to put down where you're from, because I think some people are new here. So that would be great if you want to put what town and state that you're from. That would be awesome. I want to remind everyone that we're going to be doing this ceremony. So there's a few things that you should have handy if you want to make sure that you can grab them. A pen and paper. Those are the most necessary things. And we also, if you have a candle and something to light it with, any bowl of water.
You said a candle? Oh Lord.
You
Okay.
don't.
I got my candle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, perfect. So if the most important things, you don't have to have, I'm not that worried about the candle. I can have the candle for everyone. We are in a quantum field of energy, so that anybody that is watching this as a replay gets this energy and will be in the ceremony with us as we go through everything. Oh, Texas and
Yeah,
Michigan,
look how far
Nevada,
it's spread.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yes.
Canada. Wow. London. Goodness,
London.
that
Oh,
is great.
Oh wow.
yes, yes, yes. All
It's
right.
the middle of the night. Now, do you want us to light our candle now or not?
No, I'll let you know. I'll let you know when the time.
Okay. I'm getting too excited. I'm
So
gonna get tired.
yeah. So this is the energy of the Cancer full moon. This is very emotional times going on. Plus, we had the North Node. So I'm sure people have been feeling the energy since this weekend, and a lot of the energy of feeling fatigued and tired has been coming out, especially with Mars in Cancer. And so there's just a lot of energy. And I think a lot of that is us also, that ascension energy of our bodies need to be taken care of and need to have proper rest, proper food. And the Virgo energy of the South Node is going to be telling us that through this 18-month period of time, that we do need to take care of ourselves. So yeah, I saw somebody was like, I was exhausted for 2 days. I hear you. I was like a 3:00 nap person for like 2 days in a row, and I was just exhausted. So, yeah, shoot, I'll be right back. Okay. So what I wanted to do so that we have everybody come in is we're going to talk a little bit about the astrology. Again, make sure that you have a pen and paper, the most important things. And if you do have a candle available and something to light it with and a bowl of water, because if we have the opportunity, if you have those things handy, then we can also, we're going to be symbolically burning in the ceremony. And also after we get done, we'll actually release those with fire. And if you can't, if you're like some people who have an apartment, what I will have you do is just rip those into tiny pieces and then place them in the water, symbolizing all that Cancer water energy. So we have that going on. And great. So we're all doing good. And again, I am planning on doing a new moon um, uh, intention setting on the 29th. I believe that is a Wednesday of January. And so we will be setting something up for that. So do subscribe if you're interested in those kind of things going forward, where, you know, we do offer readings on Mondays and Fridays as part of our group get together at 10 a.m. on Mondays Eastern time, and at 6 p.m. on Fridays Eastern time. So let's go ahead and start a little bit with some of the astrology information, and then I'll allow some time. If you also have some kind of questions a bit, Sari and Jen are going to be keeping an eye on the, because I won't have a lot of a chance as I get started to be looking at the chat. So if you do have some questions, go ahead and maybe put those in there. And if they can answer them, they will, or else they'll bring them up to be answered. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got going on currently for the astrology. And I'll try and be as very simple as possible, but this energy is also playing into this full moon. So this is why I'm mentioning it. We do have the full moon in the sky, and we do have Venus and Saturn in the sky as well. And they're approaching a conjunction. And that will be happening in Pisces, which is a trine energy, which just means it's a very easy flowing energy to the Cancer moon. So Jupiter is also overhead and will be moving back to 11 degrees. And this means to me that we're going to have a lot of increasing learning opportunities coming throughout this year. This is the very first full moon of 2025. We can release all the energy of 2024 and get rid of it and just write it out of existence as much as we can, and release that energy from 2024, anything that was a disappointment or things that we need to let go of for our personal growth. The key to all of this, I think, is this Mars retrograde that's in Cancer right now. And Mars is just a couple degrees away from this full moon. Mars, I believe, is actually at 28 degrees. Let me double check that. Mars, 27. It's at 27 degrees. And this full moon is actually at 23:59. So they're that close in that close of energy. And Mars being in retrograde is going to bring up triggers for people. And it'll be family triggers that are going to be happening. And there's no one that can make you as crazy as your family can. So that's some of that energy going forward. And also the fact that we may have things related to our home that we need to really look at. What is in your home that you wanted to update? What is in your home that you want to make changes or release a lot of things that you feel like are negative energy, or the two extra sets of dishes that you haven't used in 5 years, right? Getting rid of some of those things, and getting that's stuck energy, actually. So getting rid of those things and honoring your home, and really bringing in new energies, such as clearing out, making that grand cleaning, then bringing in maybe if some people want to do crystals and put those over their doors and clean out the energy with, is it Palo Santo is the
Yes.
positive energy that you can bring in. So that is very great energy to be utilizing. We do also have Neptune at 27 degrees. That's in a trine to this Mars, and also with the full moon. And we're going to have the North Node going conjunct with Neptune, meaning something is fated and we won't see it coming. So being in that mental space of being prepared and having a safe place, such as your home, especially as we go into these further energies for the collective that I think are more an issue for the collective. So for us looking forward, this is illuminating the rest of the year for us. So we know that we are going to be working with our emotions, that we're going to have to work with emotions that we've long suppressed. And this is going to allow us to get further upgrades and really actually, because I think we're more in an observing mode as to what is going on, we are going to get the opportunity to really move in a quantum way into our own personal paths that we were meant to follow. Because as we do that and we grow, that helps the collective. So you being on your path and doing what you need to do for yourself helps the collective. And that's what I think we need to do with that energy. I did go outside for just a little while before I logged on, and I did get to see the moon. And there was some clouds in the sky, but I did get to see Venus. Venus was so bright in the sky. So it is a real treat for anybody that actually likes to go outside and look at the stars. You will also see um, Saturn is not that far away from Venus, and up straight up in the sky should be Jupiter. I think Mars comes a little later in the evening, but that will show up as an orange planet, orange star. So it's pretty unmistakable that that's what it is. So let's go ahead and does anybody have any questions regarding any of the astrology or what this may mean for you at all? I saw that we had a couple people that, yeah, Gemini Sun, that energy I know is being worked on by Jupiter, that energy. So it'll be much better when Jupiter goes direct. So what I also want to mention, if you do know your houses in your chart, then that can make a big difference for you as far as also knowing where you want to release things. One of the things I know, I'm a Gemini rising. Cancer is my second house, my house of my personal beliefs and my monetary house, my house of my resources. And my family has always had cancer is very ancestral. My family has always had, for generations and generations and generations, a problem with lack mentality, right? And that is something that I can release because one of the really cool things about this is I have a 25-degree Cancer sun, which is right connected with that full moon energy. So I can set that as an intention to release my ancestral um, inherited trauma so that as things go forward, that doesn't hold me back anymore. And a lot of what's going on for everybody in the collective, especially people like us, is that we are actually um, clearing trauma out from our ancestral patterns. That's a big part of what we're doing here right now. And then it's going to be cleared. Karma is going to be cleared for everyone. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking at that, you can look at those different things related to your houses. But the most important thing to realize is it's about home, it's about family, it's about ancestry, it's about the loving connections that we have. Cancer is very feminine energy. It's very intuitive. We can be using our intuition for real strength for the rest of the year because we will have continue to have some strong Cancer energy, and also the Pisces energy connected through all the nodal things going on with Pisces. So, okay. So everybody, I think we're ready. I think everybody that's going to be here is here. So glad to have everybody here. So now we're going to go on to, I'm going to do, did either of you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, there's some questions in the chat that Jen had starred. And there was a question. This was BA Delta Angel. If I'm a Cancer Sun and Venus, is there anything specific I should take note of?
Yes. The degree of both your Cancer Sun and Venus. I'm a 25-degree Cancer Sun. I will get 3 passes. I've had the first pass already by Mars when it first went through Cancer. And it took a long time to do that. And then it was in Leo for all of December. And then now it's gone back into Cancer. That happened on January 6th. You should have felt that energy coming back into Cancer. Now it's going to go all the way back to 17 degrees. So if you have either of those between 17 degrees and 29 degrees, it's going to get hit again by the Mars retrograde. Now, the Mars retrograde probably, with it being Sun and Venus, it's going to be an emotional thing. It's going to be also, Venus is very much about your relationships with women. Cancer is the Sun is very much about you, your personal self, things that you're going to be dealing with. And the nice thing is once it hits that 17 degrees of Cancer and starts moving direct again, those issues will start to you'll be getting rid of those problems and moving past them once it's direct and going back over those degrees again. So that would be my advice. And then that will be in a anything that you have in Aries for those degrees, and anything in Libra for those degrees, and anything in Capricorn for those degrees, because that's an opposition to Capricorn, and those are squares to Libra and Aries. So anything between that 17 to 29 degrees. Mars and Cancer, I see someone's mentioned that Mars and Cancer. Yes, I know a lot of people with Mars and Cancer. And one of the things Mars will do in Cancer, it is so protective of the home energy. It's mama bear energy. And this is what I think too with what's going on with the collective. Our home is going to be our castle. So make it as comfortable and as free feeling. And I think that's going to be our safe place, in the sense, I don't feel like we're not going to be safe. I just feel like that's because of the energies being so strong out there. We need to have a place that we can come and be grounded, and that will be your home energy. So I think that's very important. And that's true for everyone, because Cancer does represent the home so strongly, that this is one of the things that will help us deal with all this collective energy out there as we stand back and be observers of what's going on. And then we're just going to kind of be in, okay, this is our energy of holding space, and I'm protective of my home and my family, and I'm not going to let that energy get in. That's very much what that's going to be like with Mars energy. Mars is for the underdog too. So, oh yeah, 24 degrees Aries, that will hit you. Any other, because I can't see all of the start questions.
Okay.
What do you have?
Yeah.
So we've got, how does it affect me as a double Cancerian?
It will affect you. Even if you have things that are in the lower degrees, because Mars is in there for so long, you will have even an echo of that energy between 0 and 17 degrees, right? But if Mars is going over those things 3 times, that definitely is going to hit you. So pay attention to the degrees of whatever's there, like an ascendant or a moon. And Cancer is so intuitive. And that is going to be something I think everybody is going to get an upgrade on, is their intuition. It's going to be harder and harder for people to, we're just going to recognize. I mean, I know a lot of people that do that now. You can't be lied to anymore, right? It's just like, you don't have to say it out loud that you don't believe what they're saying, but you're like, no, nope. So, yeah, and I see John as like Libra rising, Cancer moon. Yes, those are definitely going to be affected. Definitely going to be
This
affected.
one reminded me of what you were talking about before we went on, just because her degrees are those later degrees that you were talking about.
Yeah. Right. So Fran, you have a lot of things here. So this Venus at 29 degrees of Pisces, yes, the North Node being on your Venus. You will also, this is what also I'm going to say to you. You're going to have a Venus return coming up, and the Venus is going to be going into retrograde. So I think this is going to be even more activated when on March 1st, Venus has already traveled all the way through Pisces, is going to go into Aries, and then is going to be going back into Pisces, and will be hitting those degrees again. So you have some work ahead of you with Venus in very, very big ways. But what the really good part of that is that it's in the North Node area of the chart. That is where you're supposed to be going. So whatever work is going to be coming up for you is what is meant for you, is what is meant along your path. And it can give you quantum leaps forward. So you have you're having a North Node reversal. Boy, you have a lot of things going on. So South Node, I would say in Pisces, I'm really suspecting for you, and this is just kind of what I'm getting as a um, kind of a download. You will be having energies from past lives, I think, that are going, past life talents and things coming through to you, because North Node in Virgo is going to have you being less critical of yourself, um, and releasing all of the negative things of Virgo and going towards all the positive things of Virgo, which is the service, the organizational things, and the fact that as much as we say Virgo might be uptight, Virgo is actually a is cardinal is a mutable sign. So mutable, they are able to handle change, and so is Pisces. That's the great part of all this going on, is that those are the Pisces and Gemini and Virgo, and what's the other one? Not Libra, no, not Scorpio. Sag. Sag, mutable Sag is able to handle stuff, right? So if change comes, they're like, okay, change happened, we're turning the page. Different plan, new plan B, C, D, whatever. And that's a lot easier for people that are immutable signs. So that'll be very, very good for you. Yes, it's not the fact that you're super tearful, completely understandable. Plus, you have the moon there right now. So know that this too shall pass, right? You do have things coming up, probably also relationships with Venus also represents relationships with women. So, if there's been issues with that, that's something that you'll be figuring out with the Venus retrograde. So, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that coming forward. I think there's a couple people on our channel that we're going to do some astrology workshops a little bit so people can know what's going on. Vivid
So this
dreams,
question's asking about vivid dreams. Yeah.
yes, especially Neptune and Pisces and being activated by the North Node. Yes, very much so. And I would write those down. I would be writing any of those vivid dreams down and what they meant to you. And you will find when you go back and look at those things that it was something that was meant as a message for you. So I think that that is something that's very, very important for people to realize. And we are going to be more emotional, right? We are going to, and this is part of what Cancer is making us do, having to deal with our emotions. Why am I crying? What has
You've
triggered?
got it right here with the Mars retrograde too. So tell me how that actually combines together.
It will. It's Mars only retrogrades like every 2.5 years. It always affects everyone, and you have to watch the sign that it's in and the area that it's in your chart. The sign that it's in is extremely important. And with this being, Mars didn't mind being in another fire sign because it likes fire signs. It's not as comfortable being in this water sign because Mars is having to face emotions that Mars doesn't like to face, right? It's in your face. Mars is in your face about what your emotions are and having to deal with them. And it's going to remain in your face. And your task is, why is this triggering me, and how can I make this not a trigger, or how can I change this so I stop whatever's triggering me, like setting a boundary. That's very important, especially for Cancers and Libras and Virgos. They love everybody and they do everything for everybody else. You have to quit doing that. You're not taking care of yourself. And Virgo South Node is telling you you need to have self-care, more rest, more water, more healthy foods. All of those things. All of those things. So anybody that's, especially right now in I would say anything from like 23 to the end of Cancer, is being very, very hit right now. As Mars keeps moving back, it'll be hit more, but we're also getting all that energy from Pisces, because all of those things that are in late degrees Pisces, and Venus is coming soon, very soon. Venus is trining anything in the earlier degrees of Cancer, so that might be a little helpful. But again, I think we are going to be an emotional mishmash. That's why I think being in your home is important, that you have a safe space. And some people will be changing homes. That's part of this too. there'll be people that will be moving to new locations and making a new home somewhere, and that makes perfect sense in the astrology too. So yes, I will say, Peggy, I cry at everything. Yes, I would say we are going to be feeling much more emotion, without a doubt, and allow yourself that grace. You know, I had a weird thing happen with a key today that got bent. So I am, it's a Uranus moment for me. So it was just like, instead of, it's just a little thing, you know. So to me, it's like, okay, I'm standing back and being an observer saying, oh, okay, this is what's going on today. Okay. So I'm just going to move forward with what I need to do. So, um, I think the more that we can stop and realize what we're doing, it's that being in that observer moment is going to make a huge difference. If you're crying, stop and look at that as an observer. I'm not saying you shouldn't cry. I'm saying that you need to understand what that may be, whether it's just that, okay, my moon is getting all this energy. I have all these things in Cancer. I might be a little touchier than normal. Okay, that's understandable. But if you know that's your if you know that's what's triggering you, you can go, okay, maybe I won't overreact to something somebody says that might set me off. That is being that emotional higher level. Yeah, Michelle, awareness is key. Awareness is key. So let's go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I wanted to start before we actually do the ceremony. I'm just going to do a very brief, um, getting centering our energy. So what I want you to do is we're going to be closing our eyes. We're going to take a moment to center ourselves. Close your eyes. And now we're going to allow the warmth and love coming from the beautiful full moon in Cancer to come through the top of our crown chakra. We're going to feel the light and acceptance coming towards you and entering through the crown. And I always picture this as a spiral of energy moving down into the body. And this energy is going to radiate down into your third eye. This is going to be increasing your intuition with the magical connection of the water signs. Again, it's going to be spiraling through this beautiful light, moving onward to the throat chakra and the ability to express ourselves through speaking or writing to draw out any blocked energies. I especially encourage journaling. And as we move onward with that light coming from the moon, we move down to the beautiful green energy of the heart chakra. And we feel our heart being energized with love and acceptance, and our soul's electrical field in our heart being expanded to those around us, so that our personal energy is extending out beyond us more and more. It will be spiraling down into our solar plexus, our place of strength that pushes us through fear as we move through these unknown things ahead. And then we're going to be moving to our base chakra. This is where we have our instinctual place of protection. The moon's light continues to move down through our body, through our legs, and into our toes. And then it will spiral down and connect with the earth. And the energy of connecting with the earth allows us to release all of our tensions and worry into Gaia. Gaia will absorb all our stresses and allow that release, and then sends love back up to the moon through your body. So you'll feel love start to spiral back up from Gaia, giving also a great anchor to you with that earth energy she provides, stabilizing our emotions as well. We feel both love and protection from the earth and the moon as it spirals back upward, that energy from the earth, and reaches toward that full moon energy. So we are going to be ready to begin our ritual. You may open your eyes, and we are going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and just remove both of you, and we'll just go ahead and go on with our ceremony. So next, we are going to call in the archangels for protection and guidance. We welcome Michael and Sandalphon and Raphael and Metatron to aid us as we move forward in this year of 2025 with intense energies. And we are going to now light our candle to signify that we are starting this energy. And our intention is to release the old energies of 2024, to acknowledge the lessons of our sovereign energy, that we were given the lessons back in Aries about being in charge of ourselves, and release toxic people-pleasing energy that we had with Libra, so that we release any animosity towards those relationships that ended because of those changes in our lives, and we acknowledge those lessons. Now, what I want you to do next is we are going to take pen and paper, and this is where we write what we want to release with this full moon energy. Okay? It can be situations, people that have left our lives, a personal loss of family or friends, and pets. I know many people who have lost beloved pets. If you have the name of a beloved person or pet that you've lost, you might want to write down their name in honor of the light that they brought into your life, the light and the love. And some of the things that you can write to release some of the energy from the 2024 time, and also anything that is showing up for you in this Cancer season, is I release bitterness from. And then you can write what that particular situation is. I release anger from. I release sorrow from. And I release victim mentality. And this is very much a part of not only what Libra was having us release, but also what Virgo is having us release. Pisces is very much that too. That is the very lowest expression of Pisces, that victim mentality. And we're meant to have a higher spiritual connection. So I want you to continue to write. I'm going to write down a couple things myself. So this is a good time to take that time to really feel into that emotion as you're writing it down. Okay. And I'm going to write one more here. And I'll give you about another minute. And I'm going to write a last one for my father who passed away in 2024. And release those old karmic cycles. So anything that you've had from 2024 is something that you can release. Anything that you had in a relationship that ended, that you need to release that, both the anger and the regret, and move on from that. So those are the things that can be written down as part of the things that you're releasing. We're going to be addressing more and more things with our emotions coming up, I know, and we'll get another opportunity for release with this because Cancer and Capricorn are mother-father energy. And also when we get the full moon in Capricorn, we'll have an opportunity to also do some family releasing during that time as well. So, and how is everybody doing? And I will signify that we're stopping with that. My candle's still burning, so I'm pretty proud. So this is going to signify the moving on from here. Good. All right. Now, what we're going to do is take a mental journey. So we're going to go to the sacred fire in the woods. And what we're going to do is start by closing our eyes. Well, first of all, do have your piece of paper handy to you because we're going to be working with that just a little bit while we're taking this mental journey. So we're going to the sacred fire in the woods, starting from a nice, cozy cabin where there's a fire burning in the fireplace. We're in a nice, cozy chair where we've been journaling, getting in touch with our feelings. We know it's time to leave, so we put on some warm clothes, warm boots for our journey outside. It is winter. We place our paper into a pouch and put it in our pocket and go outside. We pause as we take in a deep breath of the air outside. So breathe in, slowly release. You can feel the cool air as we draw it into our lungs, and you can take in the smells of the forest nearby. Take another breath, drawing that in, slowly releasing. We set forward down the path with the moon bright in the sky, illuminating the fields and the forest. We take our well-worn path through a field and up into the hilly area. And in the distance, we can see other hills climbing higher into the sky. And we hear the crunch of fallen leaves under our feet and the smell of winter. And with a sharp intake of breath, and release our breath, and we can now see it. It's that cool outside. Ahead, we see glimpses of a large fire in the middle of a glen, with people starting to gather around it. The fire spreads a beautiful warmth to everyone there as we are greeting friends and newcomers to our celebration of the moon. We gather in rings of circles as there are many people here. We see the three goddesses of the moon, Selene, the goddess of the full moon, and Artemis, the goddess of the crescent moon, and Hecate, the goddess of the new moon. They stand before the fire and they express thanks for everyone coming to be present. Now, I want you to take your sheet of paper that you've had, and I want you to place it over your heart chakra. And I want you to do this for real. You can fold it up if you need to. And I will do that myself. So I will make a little noise here and take my sheet of paper. And I'm going to place it against my heart chakra. We are in the time of Cancer full moon, and we will be feeling strong emotions as we prepare to release old energies. So any feelings of anger or sorrow, we want you to pour that into this piece of paper. We realize that the emotions we have been feeling have been hiding the wisdom of the lesson that we were meant to learn. So we pour that energy of those emotions into our paper. We know the feelings that we had that were caused either deliberately or thoughtlessly by another will not be allowed to rule our future decisions. There is no longer a need to repeat this lesson as we have now gained its wisdom. We also honor those loved ones that we have lost and give their name a special place in our hearts. So keep this placed against your heart. And now we continue on with our mental journey. It is time to release our paper into the large fire. And a spiral circle begins to move around the fire as each person takes a moment to celebrate the release. It is your turn to walk forward and place your paper in the fire. Flame catches a corner and starts to burn through the paper, magically drawing it from your hand and adding its smoke. We see the smoke climb higher and higher with all of the offerings to the full moon. We can see smoke drift across the full moon like clouds passing by. It is time to continue walking our spiral path until everyone has faced the fire with their offering. We are now seeing and feeling the warmth of the fire. Even more, as Celine motions for us to send our thoughts and prayers to all of those attending, and also send love out into the world to raise the vibration during these times. Celine is again joined by Artemis and Hecate as they signal an ending to the evening. We can take our paper and return it back to our pouch. And we say goodbye to our friends and new acquaintances. We each take different paths as we return home through a bright sky that is full of planets. We enjoy walking to our home and opening the door to see our fire is still burning lowly and the room still has a lovely warmth. It is now time for us to open our eyes and return to here and now. Good. So this is the point where we're going to be doing things very carefully because we're going to be dealing with fire. Again, if you cannot burn this wherever you're at, and I know that there's reasons for that, rip the paper up into tiny pieces and place it into the bowl of water instead of burning it. And that still is that water energy that's going to be utilized. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is I'm going to take my candle. This is a selenite holder of this candle, and I'm going to be catching the corner of this from the candle. I'm actually holding it over my bowl of water. I may fold this over again so it burns a little more quickly. Full sheet of paper. There we go. Okay. And now, after it's done doing that, we can release it. You can see my smoke going on here. You burned it back in the woods. It's okay. The energy is still there. There's no worries. There's really not a wrong way to do this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, I want to finish with using my bell to signify that, and then we will blow out our candle. But we do, before we close, want to thank all of the archangels for their protection and support, and everyone here who's adding their energy, whether they're watching this as a recording or whether they were able to be here in person with us. So I'm going to first ring the bell, and then I will ask you to extinguish your candles. And if you did not have a candle, you're symbolically using mine, because this is quantum, and this is very much everybody's in the same place at the same time. So as I put that down, I will then go ahead and blow out the candle. And I will have both Jen, I'll add back to stage here, come back on. And I would like to thank everyone that participated with this. And are there any other questions that you have? Also, I am planning on doing a new moon ceremony for the Aquarius new moon. That should be the 29th. You should probably see a notification coming out as we get closer to that. And so please hit subscribe, and that way you should be notified when that happens. It's going to be very interesting because that's going to be a new moon at 9 degrees of Aquarius on top of my Saturn, which is on top of my South Node. So that will be a very big time for me as far as releasing things. Yes, Sari, question?
Do you have an idea on the 29th? Is it going to be evening or morning?
I think let me check the time that happens. I believe that it's very late in the day that it actually happens. So let me check. It says on the 29th. Oh, it's in the morning. But I think, is it easier for everybody to do it more during an evening time frame as opposed to trying to do it during the day? I'm actually open, so I can adjust. So maybe that's something we'll discuss and maybe ask some of our viewers what may
Yeah,
work
we had
out.
a great turnout tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes.
It was.
Any other final? Any other things that are going as far as questions or otherwise? I think we had a great evening. I really appreciate everybody being here, and do join us. We do readings on Mondays and Fridays live, 10 a.m. on Mondays, and on Fridays it is 6 p.m. Both of those are Eastern time. And what we do is during those times, we usually have a question that is selected, and then we will actually take people that are there during the live reading and get to read those, either one card or two cards for them. So it's very much the energy of people being there and increasing our feeling of tribe, because I always laugh because everybody, they get to know each other, they know each other's handles and their names. So thank you again for joining us, and I'm so thankful that we are able to do this together. It's very warming to my heart, and I know that we're all supporting each other during these times that are going forward, and that's what we're here to do. So thank you for your time this evening, and we will see you hopefully very soon. Bye.
Bye.